Hello, and welcome to the Steve and Mark Discuss podcast. So, over to Steve with today's subject.
Hi people, this is hot. From last night, late last night, uh, apparently there was a headline of the Welsh government blaming it on the PT government. Along that, it's on the headline.
Hmm.
Was using 14-year-old schoolgirls to invite refugees from Africa and the Middle East to come to Wales. Now, and they showed they had the clip for the advert.
Hmm.
And I found this in two places. To be honest, the first place had taken the information from the second place, but because I saw the first place, I won't mention where it was. Then I did a general Google
Hmm.
search and found the second place, which is the source of the first place, if you know what I mean. When I first went where I first saw this information. So I decided to look at the advert, at the calling of these
Hmm.
schoolgirls. And it needs to be said that the video was really, really shabby, really
Hmm.
shabby, really shabby. I tell you, if it was left, if us two, who were not, none of us is Steven Spielberg,
Hmm.
but if we were to do the video, the quality would be 10 nil to us.
Hmm.
You know, the quality would be so much better. So that was the first sign that made me think, well, why isn't the mainstream media picking up on this? You know, after all, it's the Welsh government. You know, it's
Hmm.
not to be sniffed at using 14-year-old girls as bait. And it turns out it wasn't the Welsh government at all.
Hmm.
It was a charity, and this charity calls itself the Welsh Refugee Council. Quite a grandiose name.
Hmm.
But I mean, you go to the site, and the first thing you see is a big red donate button. You know,
Okay.
and the content of the advert is these two girls. Uh, I don't know if these girls was like the daughter of one of the directors of this
Hmm.
charity
Hmm.
and a friend,
Yeah.
or two daughters of two directors of this charity, and they
Well.
thought it cute to have their daughters on video, if you like.
Hmm.
You know, however, it did make it seem quite seedy,
Well.
considering considering that they're out the public, the target public.
Hmm.
If you are raped in their country,
Hmm.
it, the blame is always on the girl.
Hmm.
In the Middle East, if a woman is raped, she gets punished.
Hmm.
It's never the man. And so, it's really dodgy the way this advert, if you like, uh, was being shown. And it showed that these come to Wales,
Hmm.
you get work here, you get free education, free medical care. We help you with this free social security. We help you with this. It almost seemed like a spoof. Just
Yeah.
almost seemed like a spoof.
Yeah.
And you would have thought it was until you went to see the site of this charity. Now then,
Yeah.
is the charity using public money? Yes, it is, but it's only a fraction of what the charity uses to spend.
Hmm.
Charity, they charities frequently they go to the local government to ask for help.
Yeah.
As a charity, and the local governments have a budget for charities, and they throw them a bit of money. If they know the people who are running the charity, if they've got sort of political influence, then they will hand over some cash. And on this first page of this website of this Welsh Refugee Council, there are 18 people, 18 diverse, ethnic, diverse.
Fair enough.
They had one trans as well in the lineup.
Okay, we're all in the Middle East.
And I wasn't sure if these people were the founders of this or if they'd met on Facebook and decided to give it a go.
Yeah.
But however, which brings me to the wider picture of charities. The wider subject, I should say, charities. And I looked for what was probably the most famous charity of all, and which I could find, and that was the World Wildlife Fund. Right?
Remember that? Yeah.
Now, the World Wildlife Fund was inaugurated in 1961, year I was born. So it's been going 62 years.
Yeah.
And it's to help wildlife, to help and protect wildlife. However, since 1970, wildlife has been reduced by almost 70%, which is not a very good track record for the World Wildlife Fund.
No.
Whose aim is to protect wildlife. Looks like they're rowing upstream in a canoe and not getting anywhere. They're being taken away by the current. So I asked myself, all right, well, in the World Wildlife Fund, all their billions, only 17% is public money, wherever they are.
Yeah.
Wherever they are. They can't say it's all English public money. It isn't. They're in over 100 countries.
Yeah.
And so it's all local. But the rest of the money is private. Rich little old ladies before they die, like the idea of a panda, and so they'll bequeath loads of money for the World Wildlife Fund.
Yeah.
But there are also other charities that are not. And if you would say that the World Wildlife Fund is successful, in spite of the 70% decline in wildlife since 1970, other charities, they just must be there. Well, what do I think?
Yeah.
In this case of this Welsh Refugee Council, they're trying to create a problem.
Yes.
To justify their existence. They're wanting refugees to flood into Wales so they can say, look what we're doing, we're helping refugees in Wales.
Well, yeah.
They've just made their invite through this advert. Come to Wales, you get all this free stuff with a couple of young totties, young girls.
Ooh, that's creepy. That's just creepy, man. That's just creepy. Yeah, I must admit, I saw the headline and I didn't really pay much attention because things are starting to get ridiculous. And well, I worked in Wales quite recently before I came back to Brazil, 2018, and jobs were in decline there in the area I was in, certainly across the whole Wales, and services and everything else. I'm sure the Welsh people will be very pleased to hear that there's jobs available and services and education available for them if they want it and everything. Yeah, I'm sure the Welsh people will be very, very pleased about that. It should be. it, as we said before, I mean, okay, be honest with your agenda. If you want refugees, if the country needs refugees, be open and honest about it as to why, and then maybe the local population can take some affirmative action to rectify the situation, as it were. And yeah, under command of the king. But yeah,
I,
yeah,
I predict
yeah.
that politicians are going to be speaking about this, but only next year,
Mm,
because
yeah.
between Christmas and New Year, it's really, really hard to find good headlines.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, in the Mail, for example, almost 70% of these articles
Mm.
in the Daily Mail over Christmas was about the royal family.
Yeah, I mean, it is a
Stocking fillers, stocking fillers,
yeah, yeah.
stocking stockers. You know,
What used to be known as a slow news period. Yeah, nothing's really happening. Yeah, there's wars happening, there's other things happening. There's only so much you can tell about death, destruction, and everything else. Maybe reading about the royal family gives something people some other fodder to chew over. Well, we've just had Christmas dinner over other things. Um, the chattering classes, as it were. I mean, yeah, we hardly ever talk about the royal family. My wife watches The Crown. She asked me about it. I said, yeah, okay. And she asked me about historical events, and I said that's the only interesting thing for me about it all. Um, yeah, I'm not anti-royalist. Yeah, I love the Queen. To be quite honest, yeah, going off the
King,
track a bit. Yeah, yeah. Um,
King,
the King,
the King.
King.
She's a queen. She's a queen consort.
Yeah. No, I mean, I loved the Queen. I loved Elizabeth.
Oh, you
Um,
loved past.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, in the past, but yeah, the latest crop we've got are actually quite boring. If you actually study history a lot, our present royal family are actually very, very medical at best. They're actually boring. Even the two in America are rather dull in their antics.
So do
Um,
a few decapitations and
Well, I don't wish it on anyone. Okay, they've shown they're a normal family with yeah. It's a novella. It's a soap opera. That's all it is to me now. I'll denigrate it down to that. It's a soap opera, and hey, they made The Crown. That's a soap opera. Anyway, moving on to the other thing,
coming back to
to charities. Um, yeah, charities are always an issue. Um, you have to have a problem to have a charity. As you said, I mean, I there have been some questions over some quite notable charities in recent years. Um, yeah, wildlife charities being one, others are being welfare charities, and I'm not going to start naming them because I'm not going to start going down a rabbit hole with that. But some have even been found to have been, yeah, if not directly involved, have been fronts for other things that have been going on as well that are not so nice.
well,
Um,
in the States, there's some homeless charities,
mm,
but they don't want to resolve the homeless situation. They want to do a palliative thing
mm,
to make it look like they're doing something.
yeah,
But as long as they've got the problem,
mm,
they're going to keep on getting the money, and that's what the directors want.
of course. Supported by politicians. I mean, if you're a politician of a certain persuasion, maybe both main
And
people need problems. Yeah.
and of course, the politicians getting the kickbacks at the end,
Well, yeah. I'm
the
not just.
campaigns.
I,
Yes,
I, I
yes.
don't know. I don't know about that.
Afraid it's true.
Yeah. Um. It is it's a very, very difficult issue. Obviously, we're talking about a hot topic in the UK at the moment. Some people have jumped on it. Um. Yeah, it does strike me that advert does. I just saw a picture of it. Was a bit creepy. I just saw the headline. I thought I wasn't really that interested after that point. What are people trying to do there? I mean, yeah. Um, but yeah, it is the Welsh government. I mean, I think they'll be found out with something eventually, and I think they'll collapse. But it's what the Welsh people will want come I mean, we are going into what us British would consider an election cycle, which is a bit different from the American one, where, yeah, we've spoken about this before, that some politicians are voting with their feet and running away very, very rapidly. We do seem to be caught in, and again, the the Welsh the Welsh Assembly and the Scottish Assembly are both caught in the same thing of even a three-party system. That needs to be broken in order, yeah, hit the reset. Funny enough, there's a podcaster last night. I just caught one of his videos called Jeff Taylor from the UK. Don't agree with everything he says. He's a bit of a how can I put it? A bit of a negative one sometimes. He was. I mean, he was hinted that us as the British voter have got to think very, very carefully at the next election whom we are voting for. Are we going to vote for the same old? You vote one way, you vote the other. Okay, you vote blue, you vote red, you vote yellow. You're getting the same thing effectively. That maybe we should start being a bit more adventurous. Oh, it's time, yeah, to give other people a chance. Maybe that's it. And he closed off one of his videos by saying, or find another alternative, which I don't quite know.
Using the words of Donald Trump, you've got nothing to lose.